this is Riding with Ree, and you will of course notice that I'm sat in a car. I got myself a little run around to help me get to the yard and back, and I did a poll on Instagram as to whether you wanted an updated equestrian morning routine with my car, and you all said yes, or resoundingly said yes. It's about 20 past 6 right now. I woke up about 10 to 6. I left my house about 10 past 6, got here. I'm going cantering with Ted today, so let's go and get him in from the field and get going. We have our cross-country training on Saturday, the first time together, and I haven't been cross-country training since I was a teenager, so I'm really excited. And I basically planned our whole week around this. We did jumping on Monday to give him a little pop. We did some flat work yesterday. Today we're going cantering. Tomorrow he has a day off. We'll go for a hack or do some cantering, something just to keep him going. And then Saturday we have the cross-country. But it's a really hot week here in the UK, so even though I could ride him anytime because he's out in the field, I'm riding him really, really early so that it's not too hot. It's like 15 degrees right now. There's Teddy. Hi, Ted. He's actually looking a little bit muddy. Because it's been so hot, we've been hosing him off in the middle of the day, and then he goes and rolls in the mud. We've got Ted in. I've said this before, but I try not to brush him too much in the summer just because he's living out full time and he's not wearing a rug. I don't want to brush him so much that the natural oils come out of his coat, because those are the things that will protect him from the elements if it rains or it's super windy or like whatever. So I don't brush them too much in the summer. This is unfortunately a do as I say and not as I do moment. I shouldn't be wearing trainers to tack Ted up and bring him in from the field. It's really dangerous. You should be wearing boots. I usually do, but on this morning it was so hot that I didn't. But please don't do what I've done. If they step on your feet, it will really hurt, and more fool me if he does step on my foot. It's about 10 to 7. Ted and I are just about to head out for a little canter session. I have my GoPro on, so I will see you on the horse. All right, we are heading down to the straw field, and today I really want to focus this ride on talking about having confidence in canter in open spaces. I get a lot of messages and DMs about this, so we are going to go into that. But first, I want to give you a little update on getting on Ted from the gate. If you've been following me for a while, you will remember the days when it took me 20 attempts to get on Ted from the gate, which I have to get off to unlock and then get back on to ride in. Well, things have changed a little bit, so let's take a look. There you have it, on in one. I do have to contort myself slightly to make that happen, but no matter. Right, let's get into confidence in canter and the tips I have for you. This is something that I get a lot of comments and DMs on my Instagram, especially when I share moments like this from the straw field, which is a very open space, which Ted and I get up to quite a quick speed in. So a lot of having a lack of confidence in canter, particularly in open spaces, is from a fear of being out of control, which I completely understand. It's scary to think that one might bolt off with you, and it's not a nice experience. So I want to talk to you about how you can prevent a horse bolting with you, what happens if they do bolt, and future-proofing your horse so that it doesn't happen again. So the first thing is prevention. So the first time that you take a horse out to open space, they might get a bit excited because there's grass and there's lots of space and they know that they're going to canter. And there's a few things you can do to sort of mitigate the chances of them bolting with you. The first is to go with someone who has an older horse who's really calm and doesn't kick and will let you tuck in behind them. So what you can do is use that older horse as a sort of barrier, so you pop your horse right behind their tail, and that can make you feel a bit more confident that you will be able to stop them because they can't get in front of this other horse. However, if you have a horse who's a bit more excited in company, Ted is certainly like that, he's much calmer on his own, or you ride by yourself and you don't have the option of going with someone else, there's some other things that you can do. The first is to try and choose somewhere that's uphill, because some horses, depending on how fit your horse is and how steep the hill and long the hill is, if you travel uphill, it's hard for a horse to buck, for starters, so they can't really get their head down and take off with you, and they're more likely to tire out quicker, so they will tend to stop at the top of the hill. So it can help to be cantering uphill and make you feel a bit more secure. The other thing is to try and find somewhere with a definitive endpoint. So try and canter first on maybe a track that's a bit more enclosed, that has a definitive endpoint, so a really high hedge or something that's the end of the field that you can't jump over, and give yourself a definitive endpoint that hopefully the horse will recognise as well. Okay. Let's talk about what happens if you get bolted with. It is a horrible feeling. I remember when I was younger, I worked at a hunt yard and I rode a horse who bolted with me. My hands were really cold and it was the scariest thing. And I remember my boss shouting, put him on a circle, turn him on a circle, and honestly it really works. I don't mean turning your horse on his haunches so that he falls over. I just mean start using one rein to get them onto a big circle, and they will have to slow down to do that turn without falling over. So do a nice big circle and bring them smaller and smaller as they slow down until they're stopped, okay? And try not to panic. I know it's incredibly scary, so do your best. In terms of future-proofing your horse so that they don't bolt off with you or don't get so excited in the future, one thing you can do, and this is what I did with Ted. So when I first started riding Ted in the straw field, he's obviously very highly strung anyway, and he used to just leap around, he would jog, he would know where we would normally canter, and he would get really, really excited. So what I did was, for a few weeks, I took him in the straw field and all I did was walk. And when he started jogging, I ignored him and I asked him to walk. And when he started going sideways, I completely ignored him. And you've got to have enough bottle and enough guts, I guess, to say to your horse, no, just walk. I just want you to walk. And then I took him in again and we did walk and a bit of trot. And then we went back to walk and then we went into trot, lots of different transitions. And then we went in and we did walk, trot. And when I was comfortable with a short space, we did a little canter, walk, trot, canter. And I still do that now. When I take him in there, I try to switch it up so that we're never really cantering in the same place. We're not always galloping. Sometimes we're really slow, sometimes we're a bit quicker, sometimes we're trotting, sometimes we're just walking, just so that he can't predict when we're going to canter. And that should help you have a little bit more control when you're cantering in open spaces. I hope that you have found that helpful. Obviously, as with any time you go out and ride a horse, you should be warming up for at least 5 to 10 minutes in walk and cooling down for at least 5 to 10 minutes. Don't gallop before you've trotted. Obviously, it goes without saying, walk, trot, canter, gallop. That is the way you should be warming your horse up. Same with cooling down, particularly if they are slightly on the unfitter side. You should be cooling them down for a good period of time. So we cooled down by walking around the rest of the field on a long rein, and I felt great on Ted. He felt so relaxed. You might be able to see on his shadow, but his head is slightly dropped. He's on a really loose rein. A few months ago, I couldn't get this out of him. He wanted to jog all the way home. He got so excited. And now he's so much more relaxed, and it's such a good feeling. Whoa, that'll do. Good boy. Well done, my darling. Well, you're very clever. Let me take a picture of you. You look so cute. Hello, Angel. Mwah. Wait. There's a very good boy. We did a walk around the half field just to warm him up, and then we came, where did we go? Oh, good boy. You're a clever lad. I think pretty obvious there that I was chuffed with that ride, and as you can see, there is a reason he's called Teddy Bear. He loves a cuddle and everyone on the yard loves to cuddle him. So just washing Ted off here, I'm also just using it as an excuse to cool him down a little bit. It's super warm, like I said. I always wash off my bit as well, but just rubbing that hose over him and then rubbing over his face with a cloth, then untacking him, giving him some breakfast once he's cooled down even further. So I basically put all of my stuff away and sort everything else out and then feed him last, so that he has at least half an hour between being ridden, cooling down and feeding. You shouldn't feed your horse after exercise until they are completely cool and completely calm. So you can see here Ted's feed is just some chaff. He gets some garlic powder in the summer to help with the flies, and then he gets some fast fibre in there as well, just to help balance his diet. So Ted's just eating, and while he's doing that, I'm just going to clear up the last bits and bobs, put those away, so that when we go out in the field and I come back, I am also ready to head off to work. So Ted's almost dried now and almost ready to go out to the field. The only thing that's left is to cover him in fly spray, put some sun cream on his nose. Ted is a grey, so he has a pink nose, and it's really important when it's super hot to get that nose covered up with sun cream so he doesn't burn. And then just putting his fly mask on, which also covers up his face and his nose, which is great. So it's about 6 minutes past 8. I'm turning him out. Tomorrow Ted will have his day off, first day off of the week, and then on Friday we'll do something light like a hack and maybe a canter, and then Saturday we have our cross country, and then he'll have his second day off on Sunday. So I didn't want to give him the day off before cross country because he'll probably be a little bit too fresh, he's already going to be quite excited. So I just wanted to give him a little bit of time to recover before cross country, but not so much that he's super fresh. So next week's video is going to be our first time cross country schooling together, so do make sure you subscribe if you want to see that. Let's get this boy out in the field for the day. Teddy. So now that I have a car, there is one final thing I'd like to do as part of my morning routine, and that is get myself an iced coffee. Alright, I've got my iced coffee, I've got my banana bread, and that is it for my morning routine, updated with my car. Next week I'll be showing you my first ever cross-country training on Ted. I'm taking my GoPro. It should be a great day, so do subscribe if you want to see that. I will see you next time.